Alright, it's looking like we are just about ready to go. Everything's where it needs to be. Except for, jump scare. I'm here. Hello. My name's Andrew from Podunk Games, and we're going to be working on my roguelike today. Just a little bit. I want to try to get the first boss battle sorted so that it's ready to go by the time we have the alpha launching on April 22nd. Looks like my camera is picking up the edge of the green screen there. There we go. That's a little better. Alright. You'll have to excuse my voice warming up. It's still kind of early for me. In terms of how early I typically start these and start recording. So, move my microphone here. So if we're going to look at the sweet potato boss scene, spoiler alert, we're gonna see that I changed the potato eye texture a little bit so that it looks less terrible than it did before. And I gave the boss and the character a new animation. So some stuff has changed. Let's see if I can play that animation here. So I'll swing in from off screen and give a little roar. It's kind of his like a boss battle starting thing, and the main character as well does a similar animation for entering boss battle. Should be able to see him there. He'll come down. And that's going to be our animation for the moment. I'm not going to go too crazy on it until, you know, we have the new artwork and everything. So for now, that's simple enough, right? So jumping into the code here, I've got to, that is not what I meant to do. I've got to make the whole sequence for the start of the boss battles actually happen. And what that's going to entail is messing with the state machine of the base scene. So I think if we're gonna do that, my best bet is probably going to be to move over everything so you can see what I'm talking about here. Take our screen capture and just go over it here. Now you should be able to actually see the scene tree here. Very large state machine. It's a nested state machine setup. So you can go between all the different states. For every part of the battle and the digging and everything that can happen. So what we're gonna have to do is add a boss battle sequencer. And it can otherwise use the battle sequence. I just essentially need to bypass, let's see, need to bypass the battle sequencer script here. So what I'm planning on doing is taking all of this, everything that actually spawns in the enemies, and moving it over to its own script. That way I can take the logic that it's doing and put it in its own spot. That way making a boss battle isn't as complex as it is right now. So what we actually need to have happen when we start up a boss battle is this logic here all needs to be skipped, because this is for spawning in enemies as they exist now. We need to skip this battle state, which currently doesn't do anything, so that's fine. It's more just a container for the rest of the battle. the on battle start relics, we actually do still want to play, but we want that to play after a delay. That way the boss battle can start, and then the boss or the battle start relics can play. The parry action, that's fine if we have this here, because it doesn't actually control the parry chance with the button. So we don't have to worry about that. And then it's just the turn loop. So I think everything that's actually in this battle object here, I think everything there is okay and will function the same in a boss battle. It's just what's in this initial battle sequencer and the instantiation chance just beforehand. So, kind of to give a broader look at what we're dealing with, the digging sequencer, it right now has this whole thing where it has a 1 in 4 chance of sending you to talk with one of the incidentals. So that would be the picnic mouse or the chest monk or any of the other ones that are planned. It's a 1 in 4 chance using the seed RNG to go talk to an incidental. So like that's a thing that we're gonna have to deal with. Archaholic Ditto, long time no see. That's a name that I haven't read in a very, very long time. How you doing? Dear Lord, what happened to YouTube Live? Well, the YouTube Shorts format, the vertical thing, it's a little bit better in terms of how the algorithm works for live streams, I guess. It's what I'm hearing, so I'm just trying it out. We're not going to do a ton of them like this, or all of them like this, but for a while at least, this is how we're going to do it. Sorry if it's a little cringe to watch on a computer. Okay, so also notably, as I'm explaining it, I should have this over here. So right now we have a 1 in 4 chance to go talk to an incidental, and that is not a great way to handle it as well. So this entire script, as well as the other script that we're just looking at, is going to have to move all of its logic somewhere else. You know, we're going to have to take it and push it somewhere else. I'm on my phone and it's still cringe. I'm sorry. So we're going to have to take all of this and we're going to put it somewhere other than where it is right now. And it already kind of is there. You'll see this global state, stage state. That is being used all over the place because all of the actual setting and getting is done there. And then it's just being dealt with here, for better or worse. How it should actually work, and we'll kind of write that in here, if I can type. We're going to keep only the timing logic in this script and move the actual logic elsewhere. And what that is going to do for us is it's basically going to make it so the decision about whether or not you're going to see an incidental or if you're going to go into a battle is going to be handled elsewhere. That way we can also handle moving to the boss battle in that script. And here we're only going to keep this this timing logic because it's part of the state machine's processing, and that helps us out because we can pause the entire state machine, right? And so that's where we're at for the moment. So let's see. We're gonna have to move all of that. We're gonna have to move everything that is in here. And at some point it might be a good idea to move this. And I think after all of that's done, that should be everything that we need to do. And then that will give us what we need to make the boss battle work. So right now, the boss battle does function like, oops, if I do it right. The boss battle does function, and I'll show you guys that momentarily when I get everything sorted here. So we will move over to this. You can see. It looks a little janky right now, but the boss battle, it does actually start. And you can kind of sort of fight the boss. I'll show you the boss's attack, which is also coded wrong at the moment. You'll see the eye on the potato pops off, but it doesn't actually spawn anything, and it never comes back. It just reappears on the next attack. So the animations are there, just a lot of the other basic features still need work. And then the other thing, when the battle actually ends, you don't advance. You don't go to the next stage. It kind of just pretends that you're in a regular battle, and you go back to your digging animation basically in place. So you can kind of tell that like the bones are there, but there's no meat on the bones yet. The spawning animation works though, and you know, it's just gonna take some time. So why don't we start working on that? I believe I made the script already. I just haven't put anything in it yet. So Battle Designer is the new script. And this is going to be where we actually handle this stuff. So what is it going to need to do, or to design the battles? Well, going back to our main scene, where we have all of the states, the information that is held right here, that actually lets you set up the battle, that all needs to move over. See if I can get this on screen a little better for you guys. This all needs to move over to the new script. So why don't we deal with that for now? Move to next state. So we don't want to take this part with us. We're just going to take everything else and then see what breaks. So we'll take everything here. Just copy it for now. What we're going to do is make func let's see, start battle. And we're going to drop all of that in there. So, what do we have that's broken? We need this fighter separation. So we're just going to call that 1 for now, just to see what else we get. Fighter initial offset. We need that. It's probably a vector 2, so we'll just call it this. Invalid operand for int in vector 2. Okay, so this is probably just an integer. And fighter UI. It appears that that's everything we need for this to work, so we'll get rid of that. I think that's just the constants at the top of the script, so why don't we grab that. Come back over here. Drop those in, and you'll see we have no more errors. Everything worked out the way that it should. What we want to make sure is true here, though, is that it's not reaching for any references that it's not going to have access to. So scrolling through, we'll see. Looks like it doesn't use the node tree at all. It's just all dealing with it here. I'm thinking we might be able to instantiate this as a resource instead of a node, and it looks like we can. It didn't break anything. So that'll be just a little lighter weight. It's never adding a child to itself. Right. Okay. So that should do it. That should be everything we need to make this work. And a good way to test that is we will just go into here. And we can keep those constants there, that's fine. I'm gonna select everything here and just do toggle comment. Now instead, what we're going to do to try to make this work is we'll do var, we'll call it battle designer. Battle designer equals battle designer dot new. Dot start battle. And so if everything is working exactly how we should expect it to, then this should, even though this isn't a great way of handling it right now, this should make the battle start like it normally would. And we'll give that a shot. Alright. Potato spawns in, its user interface is there, does its little yell. Swap to our other scene so you can see it and see me. Hello. And we should be able to attack. We get the update on the health bar. That's looking like it's working. Let's just make sure the battle ends normally. And it does. We get our reward and we move on. Alright, that would appear to be working just fine. And so with that being the case, we will clear out this script, get it cleaned up a little bit, and we're going to move that last bit of logic elsewhere. Cool. By the way, out of curiosity, how's Kobe? Kobe passed away a couple of years ago, unfortunately. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. She had a really bad seizure and didn't survive it, unfortunately. She did live a long and happy life, though. She was with us for 16 years. No, it's okay. I understand, you know, the ask, because she was around for a lot of the old streams. No worries. So we'll open the global battle state, and I think that's where we're going to store the battle designer, and that should do what we want it to do. So what we'll do, battle designer. Yeah, we have 3 cats at the moment. We have Bart, Clancy, and Chimichanga, and they are the need developer, HR, and security for Podunk Games. We've had them for around a year for Bart and Clancy, and like 8 months, I think, for Chimichanga, because he's a bit younger. Well, he's a lot younger than the other 2, but we got him more recently. Alright, so battle designer. On the ready function, we will set that up. And we'll do it the smart way. Battle designer is null. This will always run this way, which is fine. I probably won't even do it like this. It's a global script, so it's always gonna run that way. That sounds like an awesome team. Hey, Astounding, how you doing? And yeah, they're good cats. So we'll do battledesigner.new. Put that together. Sounds like the wife's home. And that should do what we need it to do. The nice thing is we can actually start moving some more logic to the battle designer because it's pretty empty right now. So what we'll do a setup regular battle. And how I think I'm gonna format this to make it a little bit better. Said hi. Hi. Just lurking while I do stuff. I feel ya. So we'll go back to the instantiation phase, and you'll see what happens here is it picks a number of enemies, which right now I have hard set to 1, but normally it's just a randomized number. And then it adds a number of area appropriate enemies based on that. So we can take this logic and we can move it over to the battle designer now. And I'm not sure if I want to still have it choose a number of enemies 1 to 4. In this state, it might be a good idea to do it that way. The other thing is this really isn't logic. It's just one at a time adding the enemies, which it really doesn't need to do in a process. I'm not 100% sure why I did it this way, because it's not actually necessary for it to spawn them one at a time across separate frames. I think I was attempting to keep lag spikes from happening on any individual frame, but I'm not quite sure that this is doing that. You know what I mean? Want chicken nuggets for lunch? Sure! It's 12 a.m. for me. Oh yeah, that's right. That would make sense. 9 a.m. over here. Man, I'm starting at a weird time for everybody. It's noon where I'm at, so you know. I think I might change this up entirely. So what we'll do is max enemies, integer. And what that will do is make it so it has a chance of spawning 1 to whatever this number is. And that should do what we need it to do. And I don't believe there's a whole lot else that phase does, right? It just does area, or add area appropriate enemy. So why don't we try that? Said hi. Why is everyone typing said hi? I'm so confused. Is there like a button on the mobile UI that just has your name and said hi? Alright. So what we'll do is for I in max enemies. That's the prompt when you join the stream. Is it really? Huh. Yeah, I've never seen that before, so I just was like, what is going on right now? Confusing the heck out of me. Let's see. Well, how do we want to handle this logic? I guess bar enemies to spawn equals game settings dot get rng dot randy mod max enemies. That should be explicitly an integer, and that should do it. So what this is basically doing is it's saying this variable is going to be a random number limited to, which is basically, that's essentially what this is doing. It's the remainder modifier. So it takes this number and divides it by this number and gives you the remainder. So if this is 4, then the remainder can only ever be 0, 1, 2, or 3, right? And so that's how you get a random number 0 to 3, is by taking, you know, doing it that way. That's essentially just how you handle random numbers in this regard. And if you hover over the random number, it actually, or it normally does tell you how to do that. It does here, I believe. Yeah, so it gives you an example of exactly how to do that. 0 and 19. So that's cool. That's how you do that. Must be having an executive meeting. Yeah, the team of cats are up there discussing their corporate corporate mutiny. They're gonna take us all down. But that's okay. We probably deserve it. So we'll change this to enemies to spawn. Make this explicitly an integer. Because always be explicit. A vertical round table. That's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do global. I think I might have it copied. Yeah. Interesting. There we go. Global battle state dot add area appropriate enemy. And what this does for us now is I can go back to this battle state. I can get rid of this stuff. I'll just keep clearing the enemy references, and we don't even need this on state process thing at all. We shouldn't have to do that. We can just take I think this is omitted by default. So yeah, we'll take all of this out. We'll toggle comment for now just so we can remember what it says if we need to, but we should just be able to do super at the end of this. And global battle state dot did I make a getter yet? I don't think I did. So this will be the crummy way I do it for now. Go back to the state. Get battle designer dot setup regular battle, and we will set it to be 4. So one thing that we can do before we test this out, because right now it's going to look very glitchy. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to see the glitchy version, because I'll show you if you want. But it's essentially just gonna spawn the boss up to 4 times. Okay, everyone wants to see. Okay. All right, here we go. Watch the screen. Watch it. This is gonna look weird. Maybe. If it only spawns 1 enemy, it's not a problem. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if there's one here or if there's 4 here. We'll actually have to test it by killing one. Because there could be, like, a bunch of them stacked. Oh, of course, the one time I want to show it weird, it's completely normal. Let's, okay, no, that's not... Oh, this is glitched out, too. Okay, nobody pay any attention to the chipmunk behind the screen. Nobody look at it. Hold on, I gotta set this up so you guys can see what I was expecting the glitchy version to look like. I can't believe how broken that is. That's so funny. This is what you're supposed to have seen. Because right now, the boss is the only enemy that can spawn. For testing purposes. Insta-killed. Alright. Anywho. So what we'll do is we'll test this by going to the enemy index script and changing it back. So we will disable the boss. And I'll even enable the munch room. Give you guys a little treat for sticking around. Alright, now let's test it and see if it works. I can visually hear them. What? Oh, so it is only one enemy in the first encounter. I see. Oh no, why are they not going out of their hurt animation? Look at look at them. It looks so sad. They're just staying there. Will they do any other animation? Oh yeah, no, they'll still do their attack. That's different. I hurt their feelings, evidently. Wow, that's new. So, on our list of bugs, that's one. Shoot. That's not what I was hoping would happen. So anyway, the battle designer now has this set up regular battle thing. So what we'll do is we will be able to set up boss battle. And what this should do in order to make this work out. Hello, Clancy. Well, what we should do to make this work out is instead of doing the add area appropriate enemy, we will directly add the boss. So if we go down to add area appropriate enemy, which is, this is a very big script, so, you know, bear with me. What it does is it takes the enemy index and it loads an enemy from the stage, which just loads a random enemy at the moment, and it adds that reference. Clancy on the desk? I don't know if he's gonna get on the desk. I've got too much crap near me. Clanny, come here, bud. I think he's all set. I think he doesn't want to get on the desk right now. Maybe next stream. So, for now, why don't we just do add area appropriate boss. So something that I kind of have to fix at some point. This logic that I'm writing and the one before it is all going to kind of sort of disappear. And what I mean by that is eventually when I want seeded runs to work exactly the same every single time, what I have to do is make all of the enemy spawns predetermined. And so ahead of time, before anything else happens, it's going to figure out exactly what enemies are going to spawn, exactly what incidentals, all that stuff. It's going to be predetermined. That way it's sorted and we are just good to go. But at the moment, I'm just doing it live, because if I don't, then we're gonna be spending a lot of time refactoring, and exact seeded runs don't matter very much to me right this second. That's kind of the outlook I've got on it, for better or worse. Okay. So if we go to our enemy index, right now we have area enemies, which is a dictionary with a stage and an array. So for every stage, it has an array of possible enemies to spawn. What we're going to do in order to have this work out is we're going to make area bosses as well, because I do plan on eventually having multiple bosses that can spawn per stage. And so, why don't we just do this simple way? It's going to be a dictionary of type, I think it's stage index. And type array. You can't do nested static typing, and so we won't do that. And we'll start our dictionary. This actually can be a constant. There's no reason for it not to be. So let me do a couple things here. I'm going to change this to area enemies as a constant. I don't think there's any reason not to. And let's have to come down here. Share the stream to your crew. Thank you. I appreciate it. Area enemies. Just like that. That should do everything that we need it to do. Alright, and so I'm going to take the basic structure of this array and copy it over, just because it's a lot of typing otherwise. Drop that right here. And we will just have it come back to the potato. I think for testing, I'm just going to make the potato the boss of every stage. And that should do what we need it to do. Alright. I would too, but they're probably sleeping and wouldn't appreciate being woken. That is fair. That's totally, totally fair. Alright, so that is set up the way we want it to. So now the instantiation phase doesn't need this anymore. We clearly showed that it works. The battle sequencer, we already deleted all that stuff. Now it's just doing the start battle, which it doesn't need to do it this way anymore either. We can just do global battle state dot get battle designer and start battle. That will work out. And that effectively makes this a lot simpler. It looks like Bart wants to hop up so you guys can see a cat. Come here, bud. Come here. Don't sneeze at me. Come here. He's not feeling it. Apparently I get no friends today. no friends. So we will do two things. We'll do load boss by name, which will take in an enemy name as a string name, and it will return an enemy. And it's just going to do the same thing that the other ones do. Return it dot new. That should work out. So we have the boss version of that, and now we need the boss version of this. So func load enemy or boss from stage index dot stage, and return an enemy. I'm going to return load boss by name, area enemies, stage, and then it's going to do number game settings dot get RNG dot rend mod the length of area area bosses. This should be area bosses. What's the blue thing on my name? That is because you're still a moderator on this channel, like you were before. Because it's the old channel, really. Just, you know, new, I guess. Nugs? For me? Hot sauce? Thank you, ranch. That's still fine. Fellas, get yourself a wife. She's gonna punch me. But yeah, this is still the old channel. I just changed the name and the URL and the logo and the topic, etc., you know. Alright, so that all should function. Because it's the same code as above, so you know. I'm trying. So why don't we'll do set up boss battle. Thank you. Thank you. I've been given nugs. So with that, I'm gonna do some quiet coding. Yeah, my lifestyle needs work too. I feel ya. I'm back, team. How we doing? Alright, I got a bunch of bugs that popped up. There's no animation with the name idle. So something's going on here. How's the nugs? The nugs pretty good. I think I know what happened. The reason, you remember how earlier the Spuddies weren't returning to their normal sprite? Show you again here. That is not a Spuddies. That is a carrot. But he should do the same thing. Actually, no, he shouldn't. I think the Spuddy script itself is messed up. So here, switch sprite animation to idle. This, I think I have these backwards. It should be change this to idle and that to default. So this should be idle. This should be default. And then that should propagate through all of these as well. I did not go back to the thing. So I had that backwards. If we do it just like that, it should work. That's a carrot. It is a carrot. So if I go here, and I make it so nothing but Spuddies can spawn for testing. I just realized the beatdown beat isn't even in this stage. Again, the background thing is temporary. That'll be fixed shortly. Alright, so there's the best sweeties. If I hit them. Yeah, so they actually return to their regular animation just fine now. They're so happy. Look at them. Just happy guys. Alright, so that's one bug fixed. Good. Alright. With that, we will enable all the enemies again. Even the Munchroom, because you guys have been good. And essentially what we want to happen now is we want to make it so the boss has its own sequence that will play through whenever you get to that battle. So what I can do, let's see, we have encounter delay, we have the gathering rate here, set encounter delay. Okay, so there's something that I need to edit here. I just gotta find out where it is. Nothing quite like being the only developer and still not knowing where you find things. So, we have a total encounters variable here, which is how many encounters are supposed to happen during one stage before you get to the boss, right? And so this will count down until you get there. I don't know if I ever actually set this, though. I don't think I've been using it. Maybe we have? Let's see. Stage starter instantiation phase. Okay, cool. So I have been using it here. So what I can do then is when the battle ends and it goes back to the digging situation, what we can do is we can go global battle state dot, or no, global stage state dot decrement stage encounters. That way, we are telling it that we're doing, you know, what we're supposed to be doing here. Now, in the pre-battle instantiation phase, where it's choosing what the next battle is going to be, what we can do is we can say if global stage state, stage state dot get stage encounters is greater than 0. And let me rearrange some things here. This still needs to always happen. Then it'll set up a regular battle. Otherwise, get battle designer set up boss battle, and that should do what we need it to do. And so it'll tick down after you go through however many battles, and then you get your boss battle. The only thing that I need to do, I feel like I'm making VTuber models with how I'm splicing the art. I mean, it's not terribly far off the way that you have to set up the characters. Reading the documentation on Booleans. There's actually kind of a lot here. This concept is no short circuit evaluation. Oh. Okay, yeah, this is I knew this. I got a little distracted. Go till you can't go no more. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, sorry the music was loud. I had turned it up while I was eating and forgot to turn it back down. My bad, my bad. Yeah, Ditto is 100% right. Ditto, have you been playing Pokopia? Because, like, your name, that sounds like the perfect game for you. It's the first Pokemon game where you only play as Ditto. Like, I know you're an alcoholic, but, like, come on. Alright, so this logic is set up how it needs to be. Poke what now? Pokopia. Yeah, I still gotta watch the last season of Shorzy as well. I'm not caught up. I'm lacking. I'm slacking. Yeah, Pokopia, it's a new game where you play as Ditto. It's like Animal Crossing, basically. Oops. See if I can do it like this so you can see it. Yeah, so you play as a Ditto that's like pretending to be a human, and you help out all the Pokemon, like build them houses and stuff, and you know, make their lives better. You can kind of sort of see it on my screen now. It's been interesting to watch other people play it because I haven't played it myself yet. Yeah, it's super weird to look at, but I don't know. Seems alright. Okay, so set up boss battle, that's all working. What we're gonna have to do is, we'll set this is boss thing, and what we'll use this flag for is when we might not even need this. At least not for what I'm about to do. So right now, the super call here is moving us from pre-battle instantiation phase to pre-battle parry chance, right? But you're not going to be able to parry bosses. That's kind of a feature that we have to take into account. And so now, what we want to do we want to make it so you move directly from this to the boss sequence. But we're going to come back to that because right now, this is low priority. Being able to parry the boss, it's not the end of the world. So that's going to stay right where it is, and we will deal with that later. All right. And so what we want to do is create a boss battle sequence. And that is going to work a lot like the incidental sequence. So why don't we take a look at the incidental, and I'll kind of describe how it works. So, when we load an incidental character, there's a half-second delay. It sets up the incidental, it loads it in. Sets up their shop, it sets up their cell, and it set environment. Hold on. Yeah, so this set battle mode, all this does is it moves the mole. Excuse me. It moves the mole from the end of the tunnel back to the beginning. I dyed my hair for the first time, and I just washed it, and now all I smell is chemicals. I feel ya. When I used to help the wife dye her hair, it's like the next night, all you can smell is the dye everywhere. Purple gray. Oh, that's cool. You got ditto colors? No. So what it does from there is it changes the state to the first child, which does the mole pop-up. So that dims your UI. It gives you a 2-second delay, and it does this dig to incidental. So we don't actually need this code, because there isn't going to be a unique animation for the player to leave the main screen to go to the boss. There's actually just going to be a camera animation. So let me show you what I mean. If we hide the boss backdrop here and you just see the main game, I'll hide the UI. Let's see. Okay. So if the player is like right here, and they're digging in place, the background moves in order to make it look like they're digging along, right? When you get to the boss area, the camera is going to move off screen like this, and then it'll fade out. Because that will make it look like the mole just continues digging and the camera doesn't follow. And as the screen fades and comes back in, the camera will have shifted back. The boss background will be there, and the player will fall into position. Just like that. So that's how we're gonna handle it. I'm testing things out right now because I got mandatory military service soon. Oh wow. So So I might as well give it a shot before I gotta go bald. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So that's the order of events that we want to do things. And if it follows that, it should look like a seamless transition to the boss battle. I think that should be all it needs. So we'll have to go back and turn everything back on. We want the deck system, we want the UI. And I made this kind of custom little fade thing for when we go into that screen. So if we look here, it looks like this. So you'll just get this mole face in the middle of the screen as it fades out. And that will take us into the boss battle. So that shouldn't be too hard to sequence with the state machine. So heading over to our main scene. We should just need to add a boss battle sequencer. Na Batman. So, I might. No, I should be fine to just add it right here. So add a node. I know you guys can't see at the moment. I'll bring it over here. So I have a new node here. I'm going to call this boss sequencer. And we're going to need a few stages for how things are going to happen. So if we remember from our incidental sequence, the very first thing that happens is the player jumps back and it gets ready to go because it takes half a second for the character to jump back. So we don't need that half second. So we're going to avoid doing this. We're just going to instead move right on. So we're going to add another node. And we're going to do it in a very specific order. Do camera, off screen. That will be the part that just moves the camera back. We will do screen fade. Setup environment. We'll call the screen fade out. That way we can move this down to here. Nope, don't do that. We'll call the screen fade in. And play animations. All right, and that should be everything we need to do to get the battles, the boss battles to look good. So just to run through that again, the boss sequencer, the camera's gonna go off screen, screen's gonna fade out, the environment is gonna get set up, screen's gonna fade back in, and it's gonna play all the entrance animations that make everything look good. So all of these are gonna need a script. And we will go down to our state machine scripts down here and start setting that up. So we will add a few scripts, SM, boss, sequencer. gonna make that extend state machine. And right now we can leave this blank because nothing is happening with the main script here. Then want to add another script. SM boss camera off screen. That's how we format that. Call this a state machine. That'll do. We'll do fade out. SM boss fade out. And yeah, there is definitely a better way to handle this, but the reason that I do it as individual states for every part of what happens during these long sequences is so that later on down the line, if we need a lot of behavior to happen at any one step here, they're all separated into individual scripts that I can just add those pieces of behavior without having to put another stage in between. And these are just basic nodes doing really, really basic tasks. So it's not the end of the world for it to be handled this way. Hence why I do it. So what script am I in right now? Pre-battle instantiation phase. No, I'm in... This should be state machine. Save that. So now we have these three scripts that are all blank. We'll add another script. This will be SM boss fade in. And SM boss setup environment. I'm gonna go to sleep. If I don't wake up before lunch, my grandpa's gonna annoy everybody. That's fair. Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciated seeing you, Ditto. And then SM boss play animation. That should do it. Again, is this the most elegant way in the world to handle it? Not really. Close all of our tabs here. Just keep these ones. So the boss sequencer itself, again, does not need to do anything. We are going to close that right up. I'll actually go ahead and just put these all on their respective things here. So we'll do fade out. We will do setup environment, fade in, and play animations. Okay. So camera off screen is the simplest one, I think. All I have to do is tell the camera to move to the left. And we have this, let's see, where is it? Camera has a target position. Shake strength greater than 0. Yeah, I think this is what we need it to be. Right. So reset position is there. func set target position, target vector 2. Make sure you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And all it's going to do is set the target position to target. And that should do it. So, in this camera off-screen state, all that's going to happen is it's going to on state begin. Oh, how did I do this last time? I almost called Bart a lady killer. I meant mouse killer. Wow. I think it's in the signal bus that I'm handling the camera stuff, because why not? One thing I definitely need to do eventually is change out the battle signal bus to a bunch of individual signal buses, because right now I have two massive signal buses that handle all the signals in the game. And it really wouldn't be that hard to set it up better. Set that up there. And what this will do is it will take the battle signal bus dot move camera target emit, and it needs to be the camera's, because it's not moving to the initial plus, right? It's moving to a target position completely separate from. Yeah, that's gonna be a little awkward. The camera is at this. What I could do is initial position plus target. Yeah, that should do it. So that this way the target is local to the camera. Should be good. So now we will go in here and we'll just do so that'll move the camera to the left. Oops. And we'll make it take half a second to do that. And then we will change state to, or no, we can just do super at this point, because we should be setting all of these up to have their next state be their sibling. Okay. Oops. What we can do is we'll go to boss sequencer, and what this is going to do is it's going to send us to the battle state next. All right, so what we've got now is we move the camera over, and that's it. I still need to set up a way to actually dim the screen. So let's do that. The other thing we should do here is we should dim the UI. And so it'll dim the UI, it will move the camera target, and then it will move to the next state with a delay of half a second. Okay? Okay. Screen fade out, we need to set up. So why don't we take a quick peek at that. Here on the screen fade script, there's nothing yet. So we're gonna make a ready function here, and that will connect some signals. So we'll just make a simple little script here. Ready, fade out, fade in. Now I should probably use tweening to do this. I just have never used them before. For a signal bus, you want me to go take a picture of the bus in the backyard? No, that's alright. Created manually by using tween.new. Oh, they're invalid. Adding tweeners to the tween object using tween property. Tween interval, tween callback. I gotta know how to do this because it is useful for a lot of things. I just have never done it. So that modulates it to red. You can set the transition to sine wave. Interesting. So if we want to fade out, we can just do get tree dot create tween. This is gonna be really weird. Tween will halt the animation when the object is not inside the tree. Oh, so I can just do create tween right here. Set transition. Do linear. This is such a weird way of doing it. Set property, is that what it's gonna be? All right, I gotta read through this one more time. Oh, tween property. So it'll be self modulate. And we want the final value to be color.white. And it's gonna take, this is so awkward. Can I do it like this or no? It's not gonna let me. Fine. Oh, it's probably like this. Right? No? Oh no, it is working. The TikTok is up to 247 views. Nice. I am very happy to hear it. Does that really work? Is that all you have to do to make the screen fade out? So if I do this, by the way, these are backwards. This is actually making the object fade in, but it's making the game fade out. So that's why I call it that. But I think this is all that I have to do to make that animate. I've never actually used this tweening thing before, so we're gonna have to see if it works out. But I've never done it, so. Basically, if it doesn't work, don't blame me. Or do. I'm not your boss. Okay, so. Bendito. Do screen fade. I really need to go through and make multiple signal buses because this is starting to get insane, the number of signals on this one bus. But it's working for now. Screen fade out. Simple enough. That's all it's gonna do. Here we're just gonna connect those. You're not my blame supervisor, but seriously, you guys have a TikTok? Nice. Yeah, we have set up, and by we I mean she, has set up social media for basically every platform, every major platform that's out there. So you can find Podunk Games on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube, and TikTok. And you can also go to podunkgames.com, which takes you to this YouTube channel. Isn't that something? Yeah, the Instagram's where you get our cat pictures. So make sure you guys follow Podunk Games on Instagram if you want cat pictures. Because there's going to be plenty there. Okay, so fade out. All this is going to be really simple. It's just going to be on state begin, state delay. It's half a second. The nice thing is I can actually make this a bit shorter. I can make it a third of a second because there's, you know, some stuff that has to get done in the background. We'll call it like that for now. Battle signal bus dot screen fade out. emit. Super. That's it. That should do everything we need it to do. And we can even take this and basically copy it to the fade in script. Not a lot has to really happen for this to function. Setup environment. This is where we need to start reaching out into other scripts a little bit. So I will go over to our environment script. And I'm going to set up a... I'm making the tiers separate layers on the onion so we can make them jiggle. Okay. Jiggle physics achieved. Go to boss mode. All this is going to do is it's going to take the camera. Do I not have a reference to the camera? Do I really not? I evidently do not. I think I might be able to reset it with a signal bus. No. Again, I really need to... You know what I can do? If I set this to 0, it'll do it. So I don't actually need to add anything else. I really need to move the signal buses. I'm gonna say it 100 times until it's really sunk into my brain. Okay. So we will set the camera back to the middle. The environment has the boss background. So we will slap that right there. We can pause this. We don't really need it happening. So we will pause the tunnel animation. Boss background dot visible true, and I think that should be it for now. I don't have a lot of other stuff that happens. Alright, that should do it. We'll go back in our sequencer here. Setup environment, all this is going to be is on state begin. Incidental state is where I have the environment reference. Oh man. That's not really how I want to do that. By the way, I just want to get ahead of the criticism here. These to-do comments, I actually do go back and do. That's why I always put the to-do part, because it makes it a lot easier to find all of these when I go through and get a refactoring. But it's just significantly better to keep moving when I have the Momentum. Did I not put that in the environment script? Oh, go to boss mode. Okay. We'll do a quarter second there as our delay so that everything can get loaded in if it needs to load in a lot. And that should be okay. I mean, it's just making one sprite visible at the moment, but there's going to be other stuff sooner than later. Let's see. So, from there, how are we gonna handle everything else? Because that's all working. Bart kicked Clancy out of the tree? No. I don't believe it for a second. We'll do another quarter second. I'll do a whole half second. And this will be what we adjust to make the animations look good. So this right here, this state delay is going to be important for animating. So what this is going to do is it's going to go battle signal bus, because like I said, everything is stored there. Player do animation. And we are going to call the enter underscore boss animation. And then we'll do super. That's it. Everything here should now make it so that bosses happen. So what we can do with all that code ready is we are going to... We're going to set our encounters to 1. That should make it so we fight a single enemy and then we go to the boss, right? That's how it should work out. Hopefully. We'll see. So for now, the screen fade, we will start this. Fade it all the way out. Go back to our main screen. The boss background is not there. This should be ready to go. I just need to send us to the boss sequencer instead of anywhere else. That's what I'm missing. So if we go to the pre-battle instantiation phase, which is right here. Let's see, start battle. We want to send us to the... Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll do this to do right now. If not... I believe next state is what it asks for. That next state is going to be the boss sequencer. That's not what I meant to do at all. I want to just put this in there for testing. This isn't exactly my favorite way of doing things. These aren't needed anymore. All right. What do you say, guys? Should we give it a go? This is the regular Andrew doing all of the code and then testing it separately instead of together. I do this crap all the time. Like literally, like it's like my way of doing things is always just code it all, give it a go, see what happens. Let's try it. So, we've got these relics here. We should have one regular battle. Okay, sure enough. We even have an uncommon munchroom. Okay, so first thing I'm noticing, I can't choose any of my attacks. And I know exactly why. So that's cool. That's one thing to deal with. Okay. Pacifist run, for real. The reason I'm doing these as functions is for a reason, don't worry. So, when the game fades in, we're gonna add a callback. Alright. Un moment. Tween callback. And that takes in a callable, I imagine. So set fader invisible. That should do it. And this is just gonna make it visible immediately. And that should do what I want it to do. Let's give it one more go. Alright, so enemies. Alright. Nope. We're gonna run fade in immediately. That will do what I want it to do. Or not. Non-existent function. Tweet callback. Tween callback. Try that now. One more shot. It crashed again. Weird. I don't know what's happening here. This returns a tween. I see. Cannot assign a value of type property tweener to variable tween. Property tweener. Okay, so let's see. Weird. It doesn't, it does not like this whole thing I'm trying to do here. It really doesn't seem to like it. So what I'll do, I think, is I will do tween dot tween property. And I'll get the callback here as well. Do I have to do I have to play it as well? This is what I'm not 100% sure about. It looks like I shouldn't have to do this. It should just function. Which means I don't know if this is gonna work, but we'll try it. All right. It is working now. Parry our enemies. Take them all down. Can't believe the onion survived that whole bombardment. Give him some cuts, and then I can just end the turn and he will die. Okay, we got a femur and topaz. Now it should do the whole boss thing, but we'll see if it works. Nope, game crashed. Why did it crash? Invalid call, non-existent function. Load boss from stage. Okay. So when that timer disappears and the new one starts, set up boss battle. Okay. It calls that. In setup boss battle, it adds area appropriate boss. And that calls load boss from stage. But apparently that function doesn't exist. Are we sure? Are we sure? Ah, a single mistyped letter. Try it again. We'll parry. The platypus. yeah, that should win the battle for us. Okay, cool. Battle ends, we get the same relics, because seeded run. And now the boss battle thing should start. Okay, so the camera moved off screen. And I did parry somehow? Weird. Okay, so a few things are broken here. First, the UI should move with the camera. Right? Yeah. The UI should move with the camera. And then I need to make that fade timer a little longer. I need to set the parry to false ahead of time. And yeah, no, that should be it. I believe. Yeah. So all of that should do what we need it to do. So I want to test something first because there's something a little odd about the way that that just transpired. I don't know why the UI isn't following the camera to begin with. Because controls typically do. Don't they? Or am I on the crack pipe here? Behavior. No, I know it's somewhere. Or maybe I'm wrong. So what I'm confused about is when it moves up for the incidental, the UI stays on screen. So what's different now that's making that not work? Is it because the environment moves and not the... That would be it. When you go to the incidental screen, the environment moves and not the camera. That was definitely a choice. I don't know why I did that. That is certainly one way to handle that. Why did I do that? I think it's because I wanted the UI to move with it, and instead of solving that problem, I made it worse. Well, let's think about this a little bit. The UI stays at position 0, 0. And the camera moves. So my options are I can move the UI with the camera. Possibly by making it a child of the camera? I could make it a child of the camera. I think that would work, actually. Let's see, does everything look messed up? Let's try it. We want the UI to be separate. We want the UI to shake with the screen shake? I thought that that would be part of the problem, if anything. You could be right. Carrot blocked. Munchroom bit. Man, that Munchroom is so menacing looking with its jump. That could win it for us, I think. Not moving as much as the screen shake. Oh, well. Let's just see what happens for now. So the camera moves. It needs to move a little further than it does. The mole's animation is not playing. Which is weird. Okay, so a lot of things have to change. We need the camera to move further than this. So we're just gonna call this 750. Just see what we get. The fade out should take a little longer. Instead of half a second, why don't we do this as like a full second? We can make this take 2 seconds. And let me look at something here. Let's take this, see what it looks like if we put it here. Because I think... No, I don't like that. Let's handle that a little differently. Environment. Cool. Everything should work a little bit better now. I think the character animation will play now, but it's going to be hard to test without just seeing it. Fuamoko sang the outro song for the newest season of the Vending Machine anime. Is that right? That's something. Alright. Attack. I'm gonna go for the Munchroom mostly, because he's gonna do the most damage. I didn't kill any of them. Oh, the Munchroom, no, I did kill, actually. He'll die from bleeding out. He still doesn't have a hurting animation. Okay, Yellow Onion's dead. Let's see. I want to see how this looks. Hopefully it'll function. The camera should leave off screen. It does not finish fading out in time. Okay. So. That needs to be 1. Yeah, it's got to be like this. This, hopefully, like, the problem is doing all this timing might not be the best way to do this, because if any other animation interrupts it, it's still going to look weird. I've really got to pay attention and parry. I should kill the Munchroom at least. The carrots really seem to prefer to block over attack. I've also noticed I still don't have a hurt animation for the Munchroom. Alright, I will guarantee that you bleed and then hit you directly. 3 damage. Wow, I'm like not very good at my own game. Alright. So, boss sequence, what do we got? Okay, the camera goes off screen. Weird. I really don't know why that happens. The animation like plays twice, but doesn't actually do what it's supposed to do. Something weird's going on. On top of that, the black bars are supposed to have disappeared. Though I don't know, they do add some level of cinematic. Though it does hide your relics. It's kind of not amazing. You know what it is? I'm probably doing something really stupid. So I gotta do that first. So when the battle starts, what actually happens to set the player to their idle position? Because it has to be happening somewhere to for it to be happening twice. So if I go to my start battle function here, player get player reference, update fighter, add fighter, let me see. On battle start. I think it's this signal. I think it's this signal that's messing me up. So it's being connected to by the deck system here, which that needs to happen. Then, on the player animator... No, that's not what this is. This is background state swapper. Is that what the environment one is called? Yeah. Set battle mode. Go to boss mode. I think I need to take this out of here. I think that's the problem. Or do I? Because as like a general rule, I don't think it makes sense the way that the environment is handling setting the player here. Bus dot player do animation. I think I should move this to here. Change to battle stance. Okay. Now we just hope that works. Give it a go. Give it a goosey gander. What do we got? What do we got? Battle starts. The player moves into position. Everything looks like it's working fine. We're gonna try it with a parry and see if it breaks anything. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. Now the boss. I have to make the first camera movement state a bit shorter, like that. Okay, so some part of that worked. Kinda. Didn't look too terrible. I think we need to, I think we need to change that last state here. Put this here. I think that's how this is going to have to work for it to look good. I also need to change... See what we get. Parry the enemies. do damage. Gravel gives me bleed chance. Good. Got the femur. I hardly know her. Alright. Still doesn't fade out fast enough. That didn't look too bad. That wasn't the worst sequence I've ever seen. I might make this take a little bit longer on purpose for dramatic effect. On state end, we're just going to undim the UI. And that should do everything I need it to do. I think that should do it. Other than that, the potato boss needs his idle animation to play all the time. So what we can do is I'm going to look at this one. Idle wait timer is set just like that. The enemy animator does it like this. Oh, you know what I can do? I can set it. Un moment, hold on. So if we go here, it'll play that spawn in animation, but the other thing that it's going to do is animator dot idle wait timer equals 0. Oops. How do I do it here? Idle wait timer dot start. That's what it is. I'll set it to 0. That way it'll just always play the idle animation when it has a chance. I should do it. Give her a go. See what we get. I was not quick enough to parry. What a lucky first draw. A nice one, even. Alright. Micah. And let's see how this animation looks. Alright, so it does let us attack a little early. But I think that should be okay. Tidying up the onion, and why do I make 90,000 layers for 3 brushstrokes? That munchroom almost got you? That is true. That is looking okay, though. I think that's working how it needs to. Of course, the not-so-sweet potato still only has 10 health at the moment, so Not exactly the toughest boss battle you'll ever fight. You know, you can just hit it with 2 attacks and it's over. Luckily, it'll start the boss battle again. So the boss has infinite tries to attack you. That's how you know he's a tough boss, because you can't get away. Just immediately comes right back. Overall, though, the basic boss battle starting thing, it's looking alright. It's really not too bad. It's just, you know, it needs a way to get out of the battle and into the next battle, and we'll be fine. But I think that's where I'm going to call this one. Kind of a short stream, but I've got a lot of stuff to clean up, and I don't feel like it makes a lot of amazing amazing stream to watch commenting code and stuff. So I'm probably going to end it here. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm going to see you all next time. Next Wednesday I'm going to be streaming, and I might stream on Monday. I really don't know. It really just comes down to how bad my weekend is. Alright guys, I'm going to see you guys next time. Goodbye.